Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you by the Thompson family of dealerships in Nashua, New Hampshire, and by Tri-State Megabucks and the New Hampshire State Lottery, helping New Hampshire schools one ticket at a time. WNDS Sports presents New England's favorite bowling show. From Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Featuring the best bowlers from around the region. Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And now your hosts, Dick Lutz and Mike Morin.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. We have reached the top of our fifth ladder series of the year. Today we will crown a champion and qualify a fifth member into our Tournament of Champions at the end of the year.
Well, the top of our last ladder was Mike Morgan, and he defeated today's top seed, Jeff Surette. So now Jeff is on top. See how he makes out today with the very hot John Zappi.
Number 1 and number 2 seeds meeting for the championship this afternoon. Let's meet them. Last week's winner with a 420 triple, defeating Craig Holbrook. From Quincy, Massachusetts, say hello to John Zappi.
And that included a 172 for his final string to put Craig Holbrook away. Averaging 124, high single for Zappi, 181, high triple is 479. Bowls at Lucky Strike in Dorchester and the Hanover Bowlodrome, and he is number 2 in the WCBC so far this year and was the Rookie of the Year last season.
John had a 687 in the roll-off to earn the number 2 seed. His 420 last week defeated Craig Holbrook, 420 to 383. He had a 172 final string and a 107 last half of that 172 final string to earn that win. And the berth in the championship match this afternoon against our top seed, Jeff Surette from Tewksbury, Massachusetts.
Yeah, you saw him a month ago, and he's back again today for another shot at the top spot. Averaging 125, recently bowling a 202 at Candlewood Lanes for his high single. His high triple is 460 and does his bowling, as we mentioned, at Candlewood Lanes in North Reading, Mass.
And Jeff's 688, one pin better than Zappi, earned him the number 1 seed in this roll-off series. It's number 1 and number 2, Jeff Surette and John Zappi. Let's get right to it. We're going to crown a champion this afternoon when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. We began with 5. We are down to 2, and it's the top 2. Seeding is so important. Joe Stella was the winner the first week over at Woodside. Then Holbrook defeated Stella. Then Zappi defeated Holbrook. Setting up this afternoon's match with John Zappi and Jeff Surette. And John Zappi will be first to bowl here this afternoon in this championship match. The winner of this match becomes our 5th qualifier in the Tournament of Champions. Not only is winning important, but winning by a very big score is important because it determines your seeding in the Tournament of Champions. John threw a pretty good ball, and look what he has left. What a mess.
Well, it's the whole back row, it looks like, but actually
with the 4
not.
pin. No, the 6, that's the 6 on the right.
Six. It almost looks like the 9.
It should have been the 9. 6 backed up to the 9. And not much doing. That'll be a 7 box to start for John Zappi. 2 of the young future stars of the game of Candlepin bowling, John Zappi and Jeff Surette. Zappi, 28 years old. 8 years older than Jeff Surette.
Who on February 27th turned 20 years old.
John on that one. So the mark in the second frame for John Zappi. Now Jeff Surette from Tewksbury, Massachusetts, brought a pretty good contingent of fans with him this afternoon. Bounces the first ball down and leaves himself a tough shot.
2-4-10, and there's no wood out there to assist him.
Both bowlers open in the first frame. Little biographical information on Jeff Surette, 20 years old, a graduate of Tewksbury High School, works at Candlepin Lanes. His dad, Tom, is here. His mother is Jean. His brother, Scott, 10. A sister, Kristen, 18 years old. A lot of support from the family, and he did not convert that spare.
Of course, father, Tom, very well-known pro bowler. Years ago, not active these days, at least not competitively, as far as I know.
Pair of 9s for Jeff Surette. While Jeff Surette is 20 years old and single, John Zappi is an old married man. He's been married a couple of years to Leanne. They were married in December of 2000. And John almost made the spare right there, but not quite. And he gets a 10 box. John's the shipping manager at Ellsworth Supply. They're a plumbing and heating business. Bowling out of Lucky Strike in Dorchester and the Hanover Bowlodrome. Threw that one right in the pocket. Looked like he deserved better.
3-5-6. A little wood off to the left. May or may not be a factor. Shouldn't be.
Oh, he got it on the back door. Second spare of the string for John Zappi.
I want to mention that Jeff Surette is running a singles knockout tournament at Candlewood Lanes coming up a little later in the month, and I told him I'd give it a little mention for those that may be interested. Entry fee is $80. The first 48 bowlers will be accepted. 10 o'clock starting time. All bowling will be held on one shift. Bowling 5 strings, 5 boxes at a time across 5 lanes, 2 bowlers per lane. Top 16 scores of the 5 strings move on to the knockout portion of the tournament, which is a 1-string head-to-head match with number 1 bowling number 16 and so on, advancing to the next round, and finally 1 bowler is left standing, winning all the money. If you'd like to bowl in the knockout tournament at Candlewood Lanes, I'll give you a telephone number. It is area code 978-664-3145. That's Candlewood Lanes. Ask for Jeff Surette, the man you're watching now. 978-664-3145. It's March 22nd at Candlewood Lanes.
Jeff's going to be open for the first 4 frames. He almost converted that tough shot. And it'll be a 9 box. So he's in 35 through 4.
Not a good start, but he's only 9 pins behind John Zappi, plus whatever fill that Zappi tacks on to his 4th frame spare.
You know, being in the business for a long time, that one way you find out who's listening, who's watching, is to make a mistake.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Once you make a mistake, you hear from people.
What have we done this time?
We apparently said on the air when Gary Santoro was bowling, at least one time we said it on the air, that he was from Auburn, New Hampshire.
Oops.
We all know Gary's from Auburn, Massachusetts, right outside Worcester. And Jan in Somersworth, New Hampshire was quick to point that out with an email at bowling@WNDS.com. And we love to hear from you, even if it's to pick up a mistake that Mike makes.
We don't send you a prize or any kind of money. We just accept your criticisms gracefully.
But only when it's a mistake that Mike makes.
We hide all your mail from you, Dick, because we don't want you to get too depressed.
Nice shot by John Zappi.
Well, it's a nice big fat prize of $1,500 today for the winner. Just as important, if not more so, is entry into the Tournament of Champions in April for the winner today.
Well, Jeff had a little help that time. Those pins were very active at the end, leaving just the 5 pin. And there it goes. He covers that nicely for his first mark of the match. Zappi with 3 spares. That's the first one for Surette. Right on the head pin. A little too full on the head pin, and not an easy shot. The 4-7 on the left, 6-10 on the right. There is one piece of wood that could help scatter things. That's what he's trying to do, is scatter stuff. Not going to make it.
Piece of wood now up near the lip of the plate, in front of the 4 and the 7.
and a 10 box. Zappi with the early lead, although not much of a lead. It's 4 pins plus whatever he gets on this ball. And that will be 7. Two, 4, 6. There it goes. Nice shot by John Zappi. I didn't think the wood was set up to help him that much on that shot, Mike, but apparently it was. It bounced off the wall and really took it out. Looking for some bonus money is John Zappi. Ooh, that pin sliding across. I thought it was going to take out the 6 and the 10.
He'll shoot this one from the left side of the lane over to the right-hand corner, take out the 6 and the 10. This is the perfect setup for a left-handed bowler.
If you hit the 6 pin.
If you hit the object pin.
$10 for Zappi. He's at 100 through 8.
Couple of marks, and Surette's right back with him. He's had only one so far through his first 6 boxes. The young bowler from Tewksbury, Mass. 20 years old. A lot of fans here today, family members and friends in the Tewksbury and North Reading areas. Missing the object pin, which was, of course, the 1 pin. Stands by itself.
A 10 box. Now a 19-pin lead. Box to box for John Zappi, and Surette's up against the Zappi open frame. That one got away from him as he threw it past the head pin. And he has the 1, the 3, the 5, the 8, and the 10 with a piece of wood in the back row. Will it go? Yes. Sometimes the toughest ones go easiest, if that makes any sense. When you least expect it. Zappi on the head pin. Well, you know, $1,025, by the way, in the triple strike jackpot. We almost gave it away twice last week. Both bowlers, Craig Holbrook and John Zappi, had a shot at it. Zappi came really close. Look at that spare by John Zappi.
Now, do you realize that's the second time he's made that split this game? He made it a couple boxes ago with the help of some wood. This time, just a cut shot, as you'll see here.
Perfectly done.
Just nicks the back of the pin and tips it forward.
And he just puts 4 in it with a spread eagle. He had a 3 fill, a 4 fill, and a 7 box in the match, which keeps the score down. And he picks 1 off the left side, the 2 pin. So the 4 and 7 remain on the left, the 3, 6, and 10 on the right. That's a 6 box for John. So despite having 5 marks in the string, John finishes with a 120. He had a 7 box, a 6 box, a 3 fill, a 4 fill.
It's a tough spare, 5, 6, 9, 10 with some wood between the 6 and the 9.
And there it goes. 2 marks in a row for Jeff Surette. Watch it again. He had some great action. He just tapped that piece of wood that was perpendicular. That helped a lot. This is the shot that Zappi made.
And he'll need to make this to win this string.
So he will be open. He's at 112. $113 for a string for Jeff Surette. 120 for John Zappi. A 7-pin lead for Zappi. We're headed to string number 2 as we continue from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. It's Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Jeff Surette, first to bowl, string number 2, Leda Lanes in Nashua. Dick Lutz, Mike Morin, The WNDS TV crew here to make it all possible. Surette right on the head pin with that shot, leaving the 5 pin. And he'll take the spare the hard way.
I'm waiting for that first smile yet from Jeff Surette. Haven't seen it yet.
There's the shrug, the head shake. He knows he's a lucky young man right now. Put 8 in the spare and be set up for another one. Two marks in a row to start out the second string for Jeff Surette. Kevin LaFond is our director here this afternoon. Keith Webb is our engineer. Kevin Sheehan, Dean Zanello, and Jonathan Elias on the cameras. Don Cronin is on replay. Cheryl Sylvia is working graphics. Alex Kalistoff is on audio. And they all make it possible each and every week for you to watch the best Candlepin bowlers in the world. Right here on WNDS. That wood was going to take out that pin until it hit another piece of wood that knocked it away.
Got caught in traffic. So it's the 4 pin for John Zappi up against a Jeff Surette first box spare.
John missed it.
It's going to pretty much tie things up now through completed frames.
That'll be a 10 box for John. You know, he'd rather have had the spare. Watch it one more time. This piece of wood's coming over there. It gets knocked out of the way. It was going to be a strike for John Zappi, and he had to settle for a 10 box. Now he misses the head pin altogether. The 4 horsemen on the right with the 5 and the 9 pins in the back. The 1 and the 5 remain. 2 open frames for John Zappi. The door open for Jeff Surette to take the lead.
Big time. He definitely brought the louder cheering section. Would you notice that? Zappi's got his fans, but Surette's got the rowdier ones today.
$50 in bonus money for Jeff Surette. Looking for more bonus money right on the head pin. Broke up the split. And with wood all over the place, your guess is as good as mine as to what's going to happen here and where the wood's going to fly. There's a piece of wood in the middle there that I think is key to getting out the 9 pin. And he took it all. 4 marks in a row to start out. See if we can see that again. Let's watch it again. That piece of wood in the middle, well, it happened too fast to see exactly how it happened. Zappi threw it past the head pin, half Worcester. So while Surette is red hot, Zappi's gone ice cold. Zappi threw a good ball. He threw a great ball. The 5 pin remains. And a 10 box for John. He could use a mark right about here, I would say. Well, he threw a pretty good ball, and again, he's got a tough shot to make. The 2 and the 7 with no wood to help out. The only wood to help out is the wood that's sitting in the gutter right now, which could help if, in fact, he knocks something in there first. Like that. Nice shot. Nice shot by John Zappi to pick up the spare. We go to the break. Both bowlers working on marks. When we come back, Toledo Lanes in Nashua as we reach the halfway point. It's Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Welcome back to Toledo Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. Jeff Surette on lane 34, working on 4 marks in a row. He's going to have a pretty nasty half, isn't he? Especially if he makes this spare, which he does not.
Just a tad too far to the left on that shot.
Picked up a 10 bucks. He's got an 81 first half. John Zappi in his third string last week against Craig Holbrook rolled a 107 second half. Two, 4, 7 standing without any wood for Jeff Surette. Here they go. Boy, this kid can make shots.
Took him a while to get locked in. Took him almost 7 or 8 frames last game, but then he's been non-stop pretty much. He's been zoned in nicely since then.
Zappi working on a mark himself. He threw a good ball.
Chance to get back some of the pins he's lost because Jeff Surette is on an open frame in the 5th box.
Zappi right on that one. 2 marks in a row for John. So John looks for some bonus money and looks to inch a little closer.
Rookie of the Year last year in the WCBC. Number 8 overall in the rankings, number 1 of all first-year bowlers. Jeff Surette was the 2nd in the rookies last year, runner-up to John Zappi.
There's a strike for John and some bonus money. $50 in bonus money for Zappi. And the strike as he crossed over. Those 5 look like they're never going, do they? And son of a gun, you never give up on a Candlepin until that ball is down the gutter, down in the alley behind. Ooh, he picked it. Picked the 2 off the 4. 9 bucks.
Suddenly the momentum swing is in John Zappi's court. That's how it was last week.
It's really funny. I was just thinking the same thing with Holbrook and Zappi. It went back and forth. Holbrook threw a 165 in the middle string to take command of the match. Looked to be in great shape. And now look at this. A strike by Surette in the 8th. Watch it again. The 1-3, although the ball just hit the 1 pin and took off for the parts unknown. Zappi trying to make it 2 in a row.
Well, he gave it a great run last week for the $1,000 triple strike jackpot, a double strike at the end of the 3rd game, and then a solid pocket hit left a ringing 7 pin.
Oh, he did it again. Same shot he missed earlier in the match. Costly miss.
Now, believe it or not, he still gets 1 pin back. He gets a 10 against a 9 box from Jeff Surette, but he could have gotten another 10 had he made that single pin spare.
Now he's up against the Surette strike, so he needs to mark. Missed the head pin.
So there's the 4 horsemen, Dick, on the right side, and the 4 and the 8 in the back.
Piece of wood, though, is helpful right there in the back. Very helpful. Head pin is key here. There it goes.
Beautiful shot.
Right on the head pin. Bouncing off the wall and pins scattering all over the place and taking out the 6 pin last. Surette missed. Well, it was a thin hit, but he had some pretty good action and ended up with 6, but he's filling a strike, so he's got this next ball to go. 7 in the strike. And that'll be an 8 box. Thinking back to that strike that he had in the replay that we saw, his ball hit the head pin at such an angle that it took off to the right into the gutter and never touched another pin. Will that 5 pin fall? It will not.
That was a much, much better ball than what you see standing as a result.
You got the 5, the 6, the 9, and the 10. Just the 5 pin. He is at 140. 141 for Jeff Surette in the second string. Well, John Zappi, we could have a pretty tight match right after this string. This could really be interesting. Zappi with a good ball. Puts 8 in the spare.
Got to give John credit. He was up against 3 spares to start the game. He had 3 opens. Actually 4, until he finally got one in the 4th frame himself, and then he began to come back with 4 marks in 5 frames, and this could be 5 and 6 if he picks this up.
Oh!
That was painful,
Wow.
wasn't it?
He stayed to the left to avoid the wood. He did exactly what he tried to do, and he didn't make the shot.
Well, he should take over the match lead here, even with just a 10 box. He takes the lead by 1 going into the 3rd and final string.
Well, he will take the lead. There's the 10, so he'll have the lead by 1 plus whatever he gets to fill the strike. There you see the strike by John Zappi in the 10th frame. He has a 1-pin lead in the match right now. A 7-pin lead in the match. An 8 in the strike. A 143 second string for John Zappi, and a 9-pin lead over Jeff Surette as we head to the 3rd and final string of this championship match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from WNDS-TV. John Zappi will be first to bowl in the 3rd string, and he takes a 9-pin lead over Jeff Surette into the 3rd string. Both bowlers turned it on in the 2nd string. 143 for Zappi, 141 for Jeff Surette. Got the 2-4-7 on the left side. And a spare for Zappi to start out.
Who will join the Tournament of Champions lineup so far? You got Mike Morgan on top, followed by Chris Bovair. Bob Whitcomb is 3rd, Gary Carrington at 4th. One of these bowlers will figure in to that scheme depending on how they finish score-wise today. Seating is assigned specifically by the higher you bowl, the higher up you are on the ladder for the Tournament of Champions getting underway next month.
I found an email, Mike, and I don't know how old it is, and I apologize. Well, I do know it came in September, but I don't know if we've used it or not. So my apologies. It comes from Frank and Jen, no last name. It says, my wife and I love watching your show. Not sure when your season starts or ends. Has anyone ever bowled a perfect 300 in Candlepin, or what is the highest score ever bowled? We were talking about that before the match. You know, 245 is the highest sanctioned score.
Jerry Montmany is the man who did that.
And it says, don't change your attire. Suits are professional and flattering. We were talking last year about having a casual day. Jeff Surette opens with a strike. Watch it again. That ball exploded on contact.
We've still got a pin rolling forward on lane 34. Paul Willett, our official scorer, picks it up and brings it back.
Here's Surette right in the pocket, two. 2 strikes in a row for Jeff Surette to start the 3rd straight. There you see it again. So our question from our viewer on, has there ever been a perfect 300 game in Candlepin bowling?
Never has.
Maybe we'll see one today. He's 2 for 2.
10 more strikes, Dick. What do you think?
Here's John Zappi trying to answer right on the head pin and right through the head pin. Spread eagle plus the 8 pin in the back row. Zappi, the lefty, takes 1. Just the 3 pin. Eight pins for John Zappi. He now finds himself in the position of needing a mark. $1,025 in the triple strike jackpot. Jeff Surette's shooting for it right now, coming up after John Zappi. Zappi tries to break up the split.
Well, he's got a little helper there with a piece of wood onto the right side of the 2-pin.
Looks like this shot can go if he hits the 2-pin. There it is, the spare for John Zappi in the 4th frame, and he needed the mark. All right, this is for $1,025. We saw 2 shots at it last week. Now Jeff Surette, you can watch. Half Worcester.
Not a real smooth release. The ball errantly went off to the right, took out the half Worcester.
Looking for some bonus money and almost made the spare. We saw Craig Holbrook, after throwing 2 strikes last week, throw one right through the head pin, the one in the 5-pin. Went down. Surette's taking the lead. He's up against a Zappi mark.
1-2 in the 10. There's no wood on the deck.
Did not make the spare. Threw a good ball and had a chance, but it did not go for him. So we're going to go to the break with a very tight match. A 10 for Jeff Surette. And a 5-pin lead for Surette, minus what Zappi gets on the ball. So Zappi could take the lead when we come back after this break. From Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, you are watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. John Zappi approaches lane 34 at Leda Lanes in Nashua as we welcome you back to Candlepin Stars and Strikes. It's fingernail biting time. Zappi trails by 5, minus what he gets on this ball. He could take the lead. He will.
By 1 pin.
He gets 6. Look at the pins dance around. A couple of them moved. The 6-pin is way off spot. It's the 3, 5, 6, 9, and oh, the 5 is still standing. How is that possible?
Well, they were bunched so tightly together, who would have guessed you'd have anything standing if you hit the object pin, which he did. John Zappi was the runner-up in the Candlepin Bowling Congress's Pro Tour at Lucky Strike Lanes in Lynn here back a couple of months ago. He was number 2. Gary Carrington won that event for the women. Congratulations to Melissa Casey. Well, I hope I'm saying that right. Casey. Runner-up, by the way.
Here's a strike for John Zappi.
Runner-up for the women was Sue Holleran from Leda Lanes, losing only by 3 pins. Janet Pock, Janice McIntyre, and Cindy Cawley with the rounding out the top 5, and Sue Holleran leads bowler of the year so far, even though she hasn't won a tournament. Having a great year. She works here with us at Leda Lanes. Congratulations. Keep up the good work, Sue.
Jeff missed the head pin. Jeff Surette that time. Tough shot here. Off the head pin again. So he has 3 still standing. The 1, the 5, and the 8. And he finishes with an 8 box.
One more acknowledgement.
Half.
Sorry, Dick, of some great scoring. Last year, you and I bowled a 9-year-old girl named, I believe, Katie or Caitlin at the Pilgrim Lanes fundraiser, not this year, but the year before, and she bowled like a 130 game against you and I. She just had another fabulous run.
Jeff Surette with a strike. Both bowlers with strikes in the 6th frame. Watch it again. He buried it.
So both bowlers with a strike in the 6th frame. Congratulations to Caitlin with a 140 game and a 371 triple. She is 10 years old from Leo's Super Bowl. All part of the Junior Classic, which travels around. A number of bowling centers send kids. It's a wonderful tournament that meets regularly.
Zappi has a 3-pin lead in the match. He's filling the strike. One more ball to go to fill the strike. Tough shot here for John Zappi. Ooh, he almost made it. He gave it a great run. Put 9 in the strike. And a 10 box. The open frame creates an opening for Jeff Surette. a strike for Zappi. These bowlers are really warming up to the occasion, aren't they? John Zappi with a big strike. Now Jeff Surette on a strike. Right on the head pin, takes out the split. And an opportunity now to take the lead with a mark here. Right on the 7-pin. The lead belongs to Surette, pending what he does in this box because he's up against a Zappi strike. And he matches the Zappi strike.
Well, they've done that both times in the last 2 frames. 6th frame and 8th frame, both bowlers throwing strikes at one another, and an 8-pin lead with 2 boxes to go for Jeff Surette.
Zappi on a strike. Oh, threw a good ball, and it's the same thing he had the last time in reverse. The 3, 7, and 10. He had the 2, 7, and 10 before. Tough shot. Can't make it. Tough leave. It's going to be a 9 box for John Zappi. He's at 118. He needs to mark. He needs a double strike here. Needs at least a mark. Put some pressure on Jeff Surette, make him make a mark.
Yeah, it's going to take a 400 to win today, which is preferential seating for the Tournament of Champions for whoever wins it today. Well, he's very lucky he's got that piece of wood in that diamond or dinner bucket, as some call it. 2, 4, 5, 8.
Well, head pin is key right here. Oh, he got it the back door.
Oh, man.
He was lucky he had that piece of wood there. So the spare in the 10th frame. And now he needs a big count.
Keeps the pressure on Surette, that's for sure.
Possible 138 for his... It's going to be an 8-pin fill. And a 136 for John Zappi. 3-string total, 399. Jeff Surette has another shot at $1,025. And he's going to be in the Tournament of Champions.
He'll be the top seed, Dick. He will be the top seed in the Tournament of Champions.
$1,025. There it is.
Oh, my. He's won himself $2,500 today so far, plus whatever bonus money.
Right through the middle.
It's a 183 game.
I think, I'm not sure. Let's see if we go back to what it is. Yeah, it is 183. 183 is correct up top, and that's the final score. It's a 437 for Jeff Surette to John Zappi's 399. A big payday for Jeff Surette and the #1 seeding in the Tournament of Champions coming up, pending our final ladder series. We'll come back to talk to our bowlers. An exciting match here at Leda Lanes right after this on WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Well, last week, John Zappi had a 107 last half in his 3rd string on his way to a 172 string in his win over Craig Holbrook. And this week, it was Jeff Surette doing it to John Zappi with a 115 second half on his way to a 183 string and a 437 triple to beat John Zappi 437 to 399. John Zappi is with us here. A little bit of your own medicine coming back at you, wasn't it?
He's a great bowler. Great bowler. He's good.
Last week you had the shot at the triple strike. You had 2 in a row, and then you threw a great ball, and you got 9, left that 7-pin standing, missed your opportunity. What's going through your mind as you're watching an opponent, Jeff Surette, get up there with 2 strikes and knowing there's $1,025 on the line?
Well, you root for him. You know, I'm happy for him. I'm glad he hit it. You know.
He made $1,025. It was a big payday for him. Let me give you some money. It wasn't too bad a payday for you, John Zappi. $1,000 for being runner-up. We had some bonus money as well. And all in all, you bowled very well, a $399, and you lose by 38 pins to a 437, which is not too shabby.
No, not at all. I'll take it.
Just the way that the game goes. I mean, we talked last week. You had a great year. You were the Rookie of the Year last year. And I believe Jeff Surette was the next guy down on the rookie list. So I would imagine you can't say enough good things about Jeff Surette.
No, you can't. He's just a good ball. He's going to be, a few more years, going to be great.
What is the future? Let's put our philosophy hat on here for just a moment with guys like him and yourself, under 30. Is the future bright with the new young guys coming up for this sport?
Oh, it's very bright. It's very bright. I think it's great. I hope to be bowling on a team with them one time.
Well, the way you guys all cross with each other at some point, you'll be teammates somewhere, I'm sure.
I hope so.
It was a pretty active crowd here. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of electricity. Does that pump you up a little bit during the course of the match?
Oh, yeah. You can't ask for anything more. You know, that's what you want. You know, and just go out, do your best, and, you know, see what happens.
Great experience. John, thank you very much. John Zappi, our runner-up here this afternoon. $399. He loses to Jeff Surette's 437. Now Jeff Surette on lane 33 will bowl a bonus ball. We'll try to match him up with a winner at home. He's looking for another $1,000, huh? It's a 9, and let's see what Mike pulls out of the bin. $10 in the jackpot since we had a winner. 2 weeks in a row we had a winner in the bonus ball. This is Charles Richards from Hudson, New Hampshire. He picked 8, not a match. Consolation prize for Charles Richards from Hudson, New Hampshire. And Jeff, come on in, get between us. Congratulations to Jeff Surette.
Yeah.
A big payday for Jeff Surette. First of all, we'll give you $1,500 for winning the ladder series. and a berth in the Tournament of Champions. $1,025 for the triple strike jackpot. $175 in bonus money. $50 for having the high string in the match. I didn't do the math. You do it. It's got to be something close to a $3,000 payday for Jeff Surette. Not too bad. So let's bring Jeff in and talk about that second half of a 115 second half in the third string. Look at the board behind you, man. All those marks, all those strikes. Have you had many like that?
Not really. You know, just got to come out. Can't let anybody, you know, get too far ahead. You just got to keep going, get as much as you can.
I think one thing it shows is that nobody's ever too far ahead. No matter how far ahead or behind you are in this game of Candlepin bowling, you always have a chance.
That's right. Anybody that makes it on the show, capable of throwing 3, 4 in a row at any given time. And thankfully it happened to me.
Is anybody left in Tewksbury? You got half the town here.
There's a couple people left.
A couple people left behind.
I'll tell you what, these people from Tewksbury are almost as rowdy as the people from Lynn. Have you noticed that?
Not even close. Not even close.
All right. Well, look, you won almost $3 grand today. I haven't added it all up, but you're a 20-year-old guy. You know, money's always tight. What are you going to do with the dough?
Save it. I'm going to need it later on.
Good idea.
Now, I want to tell a little story here that actually Craig Holbrook shared with me when I spoke to him before the match. About 10 years ago, he won the, I believe, all events competition in Massachusetts. You were about 10 years old at the time. Do you know where I'm going with this story?
Not a clue.
So you were with your dad, and he apparently, you asked for his autograph. Maybe you collect some autographs. And he turned around and knew that you had already, as a junior, won a number of tournaments, and he asked for your autograph. Do you remember that now?
No, I don't.
I guess he saw something even at age 10 that was greatness. And I know it's hard to stand here and have a lot of praise heaped upon you, but people saw it when you were a kid. So you have some good genetics to work with. I'm sure you'd give your dad some credit here.
I just do the best I can, and thankfully it's going my way right now.
Tell you what, Jeff, we have a few minutes. We finished a little bit early, and I know we talked earlier in the match about an event coming up at your bowling lanes that Mike touched on earlier. I want to talk a little bit about it and see if we can get some people to jump in on the participation.
It's going to be a singles knockout tournament. Cost $80 to get in. Bowl five strings. Take the top 16 scores, and then they head into a 1-string knockout round. 1 bowl in 16, 2 bowl in 15, and just all the way down to the winner.
And this is at Candlewood. How do people get in touch with you to find out more about it?
I got it on the website, Candlepin Forum.
Is there a phone number people can call?
It's phone number. I think call Candlewood Lanes. Just get a hold of me somehow.
Sure.
Yeah, he's
Anyway.
too excited here with what just happened today. You know, a month ago, you stood here with us on the losing end of a pretty good match with Mike Morgan, and now you will come back in April as the top seed above him. So that's got to feel good. That, I mean, you're far and ahead the #1 seed so far.
It feels great if I can come out like I did today. Well, hopefully not like the first string, but like the last two, and hopefully I can do that.
But it's a great finish. Jeff, thanks very much. Congratulations to you.
Right.
We'll look forward to
See you
seeing
soon.
in the Tournament of Champions. As Jeff Surette with his big finish, a 437 triple, a 183 final string, a 215, a 115 last half in that third string, and a lot of bonus money to go with the $1,000, $1,025 in the triple strike jackpot.
Let's run down the Tournament of Champions, Dick. We have 5 bowlers. We have 1 more to go. We'll start the new and final ladder next month. It is #1, Jeff Surette at 437. #2, as we mentioned, Mike Morgan at 402. Chris Bovair, who won the tournament a couple years ago, is 3rd. #4 is Bob Whitcomb at 380. And Gary Carrington.